I'm Celeste Savoie.
And I'm Ren Savoie, and we have been married for 8 years.
We have seen each other's differences sometimes as a hindrance and an annoyance. And so this year we've really dove into the different ways we're wired, specifically by God. So we used to be like, why can't you be like this? Why can't you think like I do, and things would be easier and stuff. So we've really realized like God wired us for this reason, and then He also brought us together. And so He wouldn't have done that if that wouldn't have worked. So we've definitely taken each other's strengths and realized like it balances my weaknesses out and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, just that shift in perspective has brought a lot of peace, I think. So one of the big practices that we've tried to take on lately revolves around communication. That's one of the most important aspects of any relationship, really, but especially in marriage. So really, what we try to do with one another is over-communicate, and that has a lot to do not only with speaking, but also with listening. So one of the things that we learned recently was that when whatever your spouse is saying, believe them. Whether it's true or not. So, whenever she's speaking to me, I'm listening to
Understand.
to understand, not just to react, which is definitely what I used to do. So when she speaks, I want to affirm what she's saying so that she knows that I understand, and so then we can move on with the conversation. Whereas before, I might just listen just to want to get the next word in, and that really just kind of would send us into a spiral. Whereas the practice now is, like I said, we're over communicating. We want to validate what the other person is saying so that they know that we're heard, and so that she really knows that I'm hearing her heart when she's speaking to me.
In 2020, it was a hard year for everyone around here, of course. With COVID, I was pregnant. Shortly after giving birth, our 1.5-year-old broke her kneecap. So she had to go back to crawling again. We then evacuated the first hurricane, Laura, with 2 babies, 2 deep freezers full of breast milk that I would never leave behind, and 5 pets. And then shortly after that, of course, Delta came, so we evacuated again. And then I got into a wreck and totaled my car. It was a pretty bad accident. Towards the end of the year, Ren was running with his gym buddies and witnessed a guy get hit and killed right in front of him. And so that definitely left a lot of PTSD and trauma that we had to tackle together. Me and Ren we don't remember a time where we just fell to our knees before, during, or after any of those events and asked God to really show up, put us in His hands, hold us. And I can only imagine if we would have done that. Not saying any of the events would have changed, but we definitely would have felt a lot of peace that passes all understanding. It says in Philippians 2:7.
Fast forwarding to this year, we had a scenario that brought up a lot of past, family wounds. We've had some family dysfunction since we've been together, since we got engaged, because we had different Christian upbringings, I guess. And so basically through our marriage, whenever something would kind of crop up, I would just tell her to, push those feelings aside. You're holding a grudge or something like that. But there was something that got brought up this year, I think, that really reopened a lot of those wounds. I think what had to happen was God really had to humble me and kind of help me see a fresh perspective into how she was feeling and how she saw things. And one of the things that happened was, we brought it up in our small group and they prayed over us.
And this was like the first night when we didn't know a whole lot of people.
Yeah, so I mean, the tears were flowing and all that stuff.
And they literally just hugged on us, and I just lost it then.
Yeah, so I think to bring it all together, that was a moment where for us internally, peace was kind of broken through the family dysfunction stuff. But then in having that community, having a deeper faith, with God really being more a part of our lives, I think that peace was really restored, and we've really grown recently. We took that class at the church with Bo, it revolved around marriage, and then we also had the opportunity to go and get some marriage coaching recently. All that to say, there's a difference between what we did a couple of years ago to now, where we're able to have or experience turmoil, but it's not flipping our world upside down. We have that foundation, we have that peace now.